It all started with a small SaaS company in Finland. Today, it's used in over 80 countries around the world. The journey, anything but easy. Lessons learned, key insights, hard-earned experiences. This is the founder's point of view.
Welcome to the Founder's Point of View podcast, and today we will talk about Claude Code.
Yes, my absolute
In Finnish, Claude Code,
Code.
but Claude Code. Claude Code, yeah, your absolute favorite topic.
Definitely.
Yeah. And Valtteri has done a lot of work with Claude Code, and that's why he's a real professional with this topic. So I will interview him, and I have a lot of questions, which I believe that you would also ask from Valtteri. So let's continue. I think that the most of us who have been working with the AI, we think that if we use ChatGPT and Gemini and chat tools like that, we say that okay, now we use AI, and the AI is helping us with our daily work and routines. But how the Claude Code differs from those chat engines, which are maybe more popular for everyone?
Yeah, first of all, as we all know, we have lots of AI providers nowadays. OpenAI's ChatGPT, Gemini, then we have Perplexity, Anthropic's Claude, and so on.
Grok.
And yeah, Access. So Grok model also. And like a year ago, all those were pretty similar, or at least they looked pretty similar for basic users. So so you tested some of those and then just decided to use one of those, and that's it. And I think most of us were using them for content creation, that kind of stuff. They were pretty like generalist models. During the last months, they have started to specialize towards some directions. So, for example, ChatGPT is still, this is my opinion, of course, it's still the best model for content creation. Then we have Gemini, which is great with images, creating nice fancy pictures. Then we have X's Grok model, which is amazing when doing videos. Claude is currently the best model for AI development and also like data analytics and big data things when you have to analyze and crunch massive amount of data. And then we have Perplexity, which is currently actually like combining those models. So if you use, for example, Perplexity Computer, you don't have to decide which model to use, but it will include all of those models, and it will do the decision of you which model to use. For example, creating, let's say, blog post, and you need images, you need text, you need videos, and so on. So it can basically call all the models for many agents and execute the whole thing.
And because of the high competition, those models, they have needed to specialize in something.
Exactly.
To get some kind of differentiation from the others.
Yeah. So
yeah,
if like 1 year ago, you only needed one of those. Currently, the situation is if you are creating content, developing, crunching data, and so on, you may need many of those.
Yeah.
Or,
Especially if you want to get the ideal results,
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
ideal output.
Yeah.
Then it,
so that's kind of the current situation, and how Cloud Code difference from those like chat-based AI solutions. Um, you had some nice like way to explain it.
yeah, I did it that those typical and the popular chat models. They are more like of helping us through phone. So you can ask help, and they are giving you some advice, and they are participating to your project, giving some tips and hints, and maybe producing something. But they are not actual co-workers who and they cannot work without you. They are helping you somehow, but Claude Code is actually your co-worker, and it's living inside the project, your common project with which you have created together with the Claude Code, and it's helping you and doing the similar things like human can do. And he can do, and he or she or it can do whatever you ask them to do.
Yeah, that's really good way to explain it. So the most common way is to just go to ChatGPT or Claude.ai and start using the chat-based model, but it's quite limited. So you can also only add like 10 files, and the context itself is super limited, and it can help you somehow. It can't like crunch massive amount of data and provide you with insights and so on. But with Cloud Code or Cloud Cowork, which is like the more like user and consumer friendly version of Cloud Code, you can basically use your computer's local data as a context. You can also like build skills and agents and like the whole environment around your data and your local files. So it's like massive change compared to the previous chat model. You can use it basically any task you may imagine. And it can handle like amazing amount of data and provide you with the like super clear useful insights. So it's so different, and how to actually use Claude Code. For example, you can install Claude app to your Mac or
Windows.
Windows computer as well, of course. You can also use it through terminal, which is like the most common way for heavy users to use it. So I think it works pretty well. It's, in my opinion, easier to use. So
Yeah. I think that it has changed for example, how I think about the AI capability to even replace the humans totally with some kind of tasks after I started to use Claude Code. So it has changed. Yeah.
And one important side note is that even though the name is Claude Code, for example, I am not a developer, so I'm more like CFO and HR person and just co-founder doing all the different admin and money related tasks in our company. So yeah, it's not just for developers.
Yeah.
Commercial break. Trust Mary in 30 seconds.
Trustmary helps companies to automate the review and feedback collection and utilizing in their marketing.
We are a Finnish company, but we are already operating in 80 different countries.
Our product is especially designed for the companies doing service-oriented business coming from traditional industries.
If you need any help related to these topics, just reach us out on LinkedIn. We are happy to help.
And now back to the story.
Okay, and I have seen that you as a high user, you have done like three kind of works, jobs with Claude Code.
Yeah.
Can you give some examples from those three categories and examples of the different kind of concrete tasks what you have done successfully?
Yeah. So maybe the first and the easiest one is content creation. For me, it's been a task which I should do, but I haven't had time for that. So, for example, LinkedIn posts and so on. And there is this thing called some kind of empty paper syndrome or something. So you don't know where to start. So
And you can do that also with the traditionally. It's funny to say traditionally with that kind of topic, but traditionally you used to use ChatGPT and Gemini for it.
Give me some ideas or draft me a post. Here's my last post. Use it as a base. So, but like I mentioned, the file limits, context limits, everything, they are so small with those traditional chat-based models. It's completely different game if you use Claude Code. For example, I download my all like previous LinkedIn posts, like I don't know, 50 or 100 of them, and add it to the folder and asked Claude Code to analyze everything. So it basically analyzed what kind of content works, how my impression, comments, likes, everything has progressed last year.
What is the tone of voice?
Tone of voice, exactly. Which weekdays are best for posting, which times are best for posting, and so on. So quite comprehensive analysis. What works for my audience. So what, and then I can ask to do some kind of strategy, provide me with the ideas and so on. Then I can also use the same agent for drafting posts. If I have my like own ideas, of course, obviously, I can ask it to draft those posts, or which I don't use, but I've heard that many of like content creators are using nowadays. They have implemented also Fireflies or similar like AI note taker data in same agent, and it can use their internal discussions and try to like recognize interesting topics from those discussions and draft posts from those, which is great idea. Also,
Yeah, and you can even, for example, do search engine keyword analysis and use that as a context and the data to produce blog posts automatically.
Definitely. Yeah, I've also done lots of blog posts to Trustmary's blog, and it can pull it straight to the WordPress.
It can even publish them if you want. Yeah.
I still don't like post immediate those drafts. I edit them and make them like more genuine and so on. But then when I send it to the agent so it can like learn something new today. So yeah, super effective.
Yeah. So the first category is product content production from the high level data and the context.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next one is more about the large scale data analysis.
Yeah.
So how do you do? It's about that. How do you do hours of works in minutes?
Yeah, exactly. So the great example from our environment is how we analyzed our meeting data. So during the first quarter of this year, we have had like hundreds of meetings around this AI visibility topic. And of course, that's like super important data because we have recorded all those meetings, so on. So that's our way to recognize how the pricing works, how the features works, how should we improve the product itself, how should we improve the like sales angle and sales messaging and so on. And if you want to do some marketing, we can take ideas from that data. And before this Claude Code, it would have been like basically impossible. It would have been like one person's full day job through those meetings and try to form some analysis and so on. So with Claude Code, I can just download all those transcripts, put them in the folder, and ask Claude Code to analyze them. Of course, I can give some advices like these are the things I want to recognize from the meetings. I want to see some patterns, whatever. But anyway, it can do the analysis, provide me with the PDF report in minutes instead of days or months or something. So that's like a great example for
everyone who has worked in sales management knows that how valuable it is to go through those meetings and recordings on your own as a leader, but also together with the team and together with the sales reps and do the analysis there. But everyone also knows that how time consuming it is to do that.
Yeah.
But with Claude Code, it can go through all the meetings from the last year during the one night or something, and in the morning you will have a 100% 360 analysis of everything, which is working and which is not working.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also for all the sales leaders or founders hiring new salespeople, one really good trick is to use those meeting transcriptions as some kind of onboarding and like developing material. Because now you can, of course, when new salespeople when they start, you have to spend some time together and go to meetings together and so on, give some straight feedback and so on. But there will be time when the new sales guy starts going through those meetings alone.
Yeah, and for example, we have now a new sales manager who started pretty lately.
Yeah.
So I have joined those meetings, but still there is a lot of meetings where I haven't been able to join.
Exactly.
And then I have checked through those recordings and analyzed those recordings with the help of Claude Code.
Yeah, exactly. So you can easily get some material and insights from those meetings. You can put it to the PDF file or a PowerPoint file and go it through together with the sales guy. So it's super helpful.
And one other example, don't go too we don't want to go too deeply to these topics because we have went it through in past episodes, but it's the measurement of the AI visibility, which we have also done with help of the Claude Code. So if you have connected other softwares and the APIs there and the MCPs there, you can use Claude Code as a great technology to analyze the AI visibility and the prompts and everything. But that's a very time consuming and a hard job, but it can do like a 10 hours job in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, and the third category, what kind of task you have done is that the boring but critical tasks.
Exactly. So 2 examples. First is budgeting, cash flow, forecasting, and monthly closing. All that like boring but super business critical, like finance stuff that you have to do.
You might need some local system for that.
Yeah.
When you go through that very private.
Yeah, exactly. it's not like the most ideal model just to put all your business critical secret files to Claude Code. You can, use some examples with some like demo data, and then you can like build those scripts doing this. For example, our monthly closing, those scripts made by Claude Code, they can handle all the manual stuff. It took like hours and hours. Now it's like 1 hour, all those agents, and that's it. So it's been like super helpful for that. Then we have some like closing related things like checking all the VAT IDs, tax IDs for the international customers. Super helpful. Claude can immediately connect us to the PS database and case and for checking those. That kind of stuff.
And you can automate these tasks. So you can say that every month, let's do that.
Yeah, exactly. What is more inspiring is like how we can combine data from different systems nowadays and crunch it up, get some insights. So before Claude Code, we had to go to Pipedrive, Chartmodel, GA for Google Ads, whatever, like lots of systems. We took some data, maybe exported some data, or just copy pasted manually some Google Sheet or something, and tried to like cross analyze all the data. Currently, you can just build some like applications with Claude, because all of those systems, they have really good API documentation and so on. So you can just give the data to Claude Code and start analyzing. Basically, it can do the like combining work automatically and everything. Of course, there's like slight disclaimer, because if you don't know what to do, you can do horrible things. Because most of those plug and play APIs, they are read and write, so there is a risk that will destroy something, or there will be data leaks or whatever. So please be careful. If you know what to do, you can form like some kind of risk management layer and do it like wisely. Then it's super useful.
Yeah, and but one thing what I have done a lot with Claude Code is that how to combine, for example, two kind of Excels where you need to combine the data from two Excels or three Excel lists, and one list is having the emails, one is having a phone numbers, one is having some customer ID, one is having some events or tasks, and you want to combine one list from others, and it used to take a lot of time to do that, and even if you use some Gemini or ChatGPT with help it, but now it's very easy to do with the Claude Code. You just import all the data you need in one local directory, and let the agent do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? That why should all founders, at least the founders, but maybe all the listeners of this podcast, why they should at least test Claude Code immediately?
I think they just have to, because work life is changing. Like it's happening now, and if you don't wanna use those and increase your productivity and everything, you are ready to retirement.
Yeah, you are in a retirement funnel. That's true, because especially in the work like we do in some asiantuntija, what's the name of that in English? Some kind of knowledge work and office work. So if you don't use Claude Code or technologies like that in your work, I would not hire you.
Yeah.
Because I know the efficiency and everything they increase in efficiency after you have started to use them. Of course, wisely, but you need to use them.
Yeah, definitely. And for all the founders listening, it's never been this easy to, build your own MVPs and start selling them and start seeing if it's like good product in like commercial way and so on. And then you can develop it further and so on. So it's like just super easy.
I have started to even dream that how nice it would be nowadays to be a solo entrepreneur now, because you could have hundreds of agents doing different kind of things, and they are your workers, and they do everything you want.
No more one-on-one discussions.
Yeah, they yeah. You don't need that psychological safety thing at all, so you can say whatever you want to keep them at your company. So yeah, it has changed a lot. Maybe okay, we are only seeing that only a little bit actually, and most of the companies they don't use them at all. But the companies and the founders who have started to use them, not just the ChatGPT and Gemini, but the Claude Code and things like that, they know and they feel that how big the change is, and it will change everything. Let's see that how many years it takes that all the industries are using them, all the companies from all the industries are using them, but I'm sure that there's not coming back, that we cannot go back to the times we used to have after we have started to use them.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the professionality you have with this topic and sharing that with everyone.
Yeah, of course. It was nice to share things. And just one tip before we stop is that if you don't know how to move forward with something, just ask Claude. It's super efficient way to
Yeah.
just figure out how to move forward. It's a problem. So
Yeah.
if you don't know how to use Claude, ask Claude.
Yeah, I remember that our ex-colleague Aleksi Halsas posted on LinkedIn that he didn't know that how to prompt that thing to the Claude to be understandable enough that it would do the job he wanted it to do. So he asked Claude that how would I how would I need to do the prompt that you understand that what I want.
Yeah, but it's honestly the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you for listening and see you on next episode.
Thank you.